Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday morning Zoom with the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee. And I am Rev Pam Brandman, the Senior Minister here at the Center. And it's my joy to welcome you here. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. We know that there are many paths to God, but they all end in oneness and in love. We're grateful that each of you is here with us today. Our center's purpose is love. Our vision is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. We start our service with our receptivity statement that you'll see on our screen if you would read it along with me while everyone is muted. I am here by divine appointment. Something I am about to hear applies to my life. I am open, receptive, and willing to explore the possibilities. Our musician today is Angelica Shafer. And Angelica is someone who lives this month's theme of living everyday wonder. Some mornings we've seen it in the videos that all of the nature that she includes in the videos that she shares with us and records. But today we have the blessing of having her in person live. So that's exciting. And you will hear it this morning in the lyrics and the melodies of the songs that she's written and has chosen for us this morning, because it fits so well with our theme for the day of embracing the now. And also you will feel it in her presence as she performs. It all comes straight from the heart. So help me welcome Angelica Shafer.
Good morning, everyone. It's really great to see you and to be with you. And the first song I want to share I call it Peace Within. And I have shared this song all over the world with a lot of kids, international, but also a lot of adult kids. And so it just kind of warms us up, and it's like, I call it a body prayer. So I'm going to be playing the guitar, but I think Karen can lead us in the hand movement. But you can just learn them real quick with me. So it's Door of My Heart. So basically, just follow the words and sing also. I will tell you the words as we go along. Door of my heart, open I keep for who I am, the truth in me. You just raise your hands above your head. When I love me, and just give yourself a really compassionate hug, I can love you, and make the symbol of, and also really intend to hug everyone here, even if it's virtual. Then my light shines, so you let the light from your heart flow through your arms and hands and shine to everyone here, in me and you too. So just point to yourself and offer that to each other. So one more time, door of my heart, open I keep for who I am, the truth in me. When I love me, I can love you. Then my light shines in me and too. So I'm going to ask you to multitask with me and also sing with me. So the words are Door of My Heart. Door of my heart, open I keep. Open I keep for who I am. For who I am. The truth in me. The truth in me. When I love me. When I love me, I can love you. I can love you. Then my light shines. Then my light shines. Let it shine out of your hands. In me and you too. In me and you too. And now just keep your hands on your heart for this part. When I focus on what is real, accept the rest and just let things be. It all turns into peace. within me, peace to be. Door of my heart, door of my heart, open I keep, open I keep, for who I am, for who I am, the truth in me, the truth in me. When I love me, when I love me, I can then truly love you. I can love you. Then my light shines, then my light shines in me and you too, in me and you too. It's a lot of fun, and it feels so good to be a child. You know, these are such simple words, but they are so profound. You know, when I love me, only then can I love you. So, so thank you for doing that. It was so beautiful to see you all doing the hand movements. I just love that. I call it, like I said, a body prayer, when we just really express with all of our being the meaning, the deeper meaning.
Well, that leads us into our reading today and our practitioner. And our practitioner today is Michael Brandman. And his favorite place to experience living everyday wonder is at the top of a mountain, maybe at North Star, Alpine, or the Olympic area, right before he skis down the slope of the mountain. And skiing, like many outdoor experiences in nature, it focuses our attention on the moment, in the now, and living in that everyday wonder of the beauty and being one with the slope and all of life. And so for Michael, a morning on the ski slopes is his joy of being. Please help me welcome Michael Brandman for our special reading and today's invocation.
Thank you. And I wanted to share one more scene of beauty. Let me get it here. Here we go. All right. This is from the top of Lakeview in Alpine Meadows. Thought I would share this with you. Took this just a few days ago, on Friday. So today I have a reading uh, from Eckhart Tolle from The Power of Now, and it is about exactly that, the eternal now, and some wonderful contemplations of that we will share and think about as we go forward. So I'll stop that share and pin myself. There we go. Okay. So, as I said, this is from The Power of Now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment. Finding life underneath your life situation. Question. I don't see how I can be free now as it happens. I'm extremely unhappy with my life at the moment. This is a fact, and I would be deluding myself if I tried to convince myself that all is well when it definitely isn't. To me, the present moment is very unhappy. It is not liberating at all. It's not liberating at all. What keeps me going is the hope or the possibility of some improvement in the future. Uh, I actually stumbled on that because this is a little awkward for me because this isn't about the way I feel right now. But moving on from that. So the answer from Eckhart Tolle, you think that your attention is in the present moment when it is actually taken up completely by time. You cannot be both unhappy and fully present in the now. What you refer to as your life should be more accurately be called your life situation. It is psychological time, past and future. Certain things in the past didn't go the way you wanted it to go. You are still resisting what happened in the past, and now you are resisting what is. Hope is what keeps you going, but hope you focused on the future. And this continued focus perpetuates your denial of the now and therefore your unhappiness. Question: is it true that my present life situation is a result of things that happened in the past, but it is still my present situation and being stuck in it what makes me unhappy? Answer: forget about your life situation for a while and pay attention to your life. What is the difference? The answer: your life situation exists in time. Your life is now. Your life situation is mind stuff. Your life is real. Find the narrow gate that leads to life. It is called the now. Narrow your life down to this moment. Your life situation may be full of problems. Most life situations are, but find out if you have any problem at this moment. Not tomorrow or in 10 minutes, but now. Do you have a problem now? When you are full of problems, there is no room for anything new to enter, no room for a solution. So whenever you can, make some room, create some space so that you find the life underneath your life situation. Use your senses fully. Be where you are. Look around. Just look. Don't interpret. See the light, shapes, colors, textures. Be aware of the silent presence of each thing. Be aware of the space that allows everything to be. Listen to the sounds. Don't judge them. Listen to the silence underneath the sounds. Touch something, anything, and feel and acknowledge its being. Observe the rhythm of your breathing. Feel the air flowing in and out. Feel the life energy inside your body. Allow everything to be, within and without. Allow the isness of all things. Move deeply into the now. You are leaving behind the deadening world of mental abstraction of time. You are getting out of the insane mind that is draining your life energy, just as it is slowly poisoning and destroying the earth. You are awakening out of the dream of time into the present. Again, from Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Hopefully, many of you have been reading out of the Science of Mind magazine, and of course, the theme is living everyday wonder, and that's what the Reverend Pam will be talking more about today. And I have to remark that this particular January issue is one of the best that of all the best because there's so many that I've been reading, and I encourage you to go to um, this particular issue. And one of the best things about this issue, which I'm going to use as the affirmation today, is from Pam's and our friend Eugene Holden. Uh, practitioner, master practitioner, and he's been writing affirmations for many years for the Science of Mind magazine, and today is so perfect for his words of what we're feeling and what we're knowing. So I'm going to read from his affirmations for our prayer today, and just going to use some excerpts. So Eugene says, take time throughout the day to be wowed by this amazing thing called life. Look for the good. And I affirm that I'm surrounded by beauty. Everything in the universe conspires for my greater good and the good of the planet. I live a wonderful and wonder-filled life. I am grateful. Be willing to look past appearances of fears, for today we open the eye of the soul to see a life that works for all. With my heart and mind wide open, I live a life of wonder, grace, creativity, and joy. I am open, receptive, and available to the good that surrounds me right now. This is the time. Everything happens in the now. Now is the time to embrace this very moment. Life is lived in this moment. Live it in full now. Now is the appointed time, and today I accept the fullness of my life. I am abundant now. I am magnificent now. I give thanks for the now. I am the living proof of a wonder-filled life. And we affirm this until we see it, until we are it. I am living proof of the magnificent power of God, and I am the way God shows up. My very breath is God in action. I am the presence of the One, and so it is. And I too bless everyone here today. I bless our wonderful spiritual community, the center, and for the message we hear from Reverend Pam and the beautiful compositions of Angelica and her amazing talent in the wonder of music and prose. And so, with that, I will pass my time back to Angelica, who will share with us another beautiful composition.
So this song is called In This Moment. It fits with our theme. A friend of mine many years ago sent me a poem, and I was walking across our meadow and opening the letter, reading the words, and in jumps this melody just spontaneously, just so like there it is. So this is how this song was born. It's sort of a collaboration. And then I notice with songs, as I grow and shift my awareness, somehow I need to keep adjusting the words. So I adjusted some of the words just recently because everything is evolving. Nothing is static. So it's alive. So if you just relax and just be really compassionate with yourself and all that you're going through, and just noticing where perhaps there is some judgment or wanting life to be different than it is. And so this song speaks to bringing us into that presence of acceptance. There is nothing to be. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to fear, 'cause there is only this moment. All desires of tomorrow have vanished, and all the blames of yesterday do not exist. Today is all there is in this moment. Life is what it is in this moment. Doing what it wants to, flowing without effort, moving without questioning, unfolding its own rhythm. It is birthing, blooming, dying, all at once in this moment. There is nothing to seek. Here is stillness and peace. In the silence between words, in the center of the storm, all desires of tomorrow have vanished, and all the blames of yesterday do not exist. In the love of all creation, in this moment, doing what it wants to, flowing without effort, moving without questioning, unfolding its own rhythm. It is birthing, blooming, dying, all at once in this moment, in the love of all creation, in this moment. This love is all there is in this moment. Now.
Thank you, Angelica. No, and then that beauty of the moment, in the moment, it's part of living in everyday wonder. It's what we've been talking about this month, and we've been noticing as we take the time to just be, to see the magnificence and beauty that's in every place, every moment, every person that we meet. Last week, Reverend Barb Wally was kind enough to speak while I was out recovering from my surgery on my wrist, and she spoke about opening our hearts to everyday wonder. As we open to wonder, we open our hearts, and we move from our head to our heart. Right? We sense that oneness with all that is, and including the people around us, and we discover that spiritual magnificence as expressions of God. Right? We discover the love that binds us together, the love that is our source, that has created us and loves and heals us every moment, as long as we are open to accept it. So today, I'll be talking about embracing the now. Now, Michael shared a passage from Eckhart Tolle's 1997 book, The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. And I don't know if any of you read it when it first came out. I read it that first year. A lot of people did in the Centers for Spiritual Living, Unity, all throughout the New Thought movement. And that book was transformational for many, many people. It had also attracted the interest of people across many faiths and in spiritual psychology, It encouraged the practice of mindfulness, which is now so prevalent even in businesses. So this morning, we're going to talk about how living everyday wonder is a pathway to focusing our attention on the now. You know, Angelica, in this moment, the song that she said she wrote many years ago, but here's a few of the lines. There is nothing to be, nowhere to go. There is nothing to fear, because there is only this moment. Today is all there is, this moment. Life is what it is in this moment. You know, it sounds so idyllic. You know, when if you've had these moments when you're really in the present and you've let go of the past and the future, and it really is idyllic. But then there's a part of me, probably within you too, that says, won't our lives just fall apart? You know, if we don't pay attention to our life situation, as Mike referenced in the reading today from Eckhart Tolle, you know, what does it really mean to embrace the now? You know, is that really possible? You know, now one of the challenges to understanding this and why it is really possible is this concept. It's because of our mistaken identity. We think that we are our inner storyteller, right? Our minds are just wonderful things. They're just planning everything and remembering these things, maybe forgetting now and then, but it's interacting with people. We've learned so much. You go through all the 12 years of school and maybe off to college or to trade school or just working or being a mom or whatever you're doing. But based on all of these past experiences, our minds try to solve all of our problems and fix everything that seems to be going wrong in our lives. And as soon as we fix one problem, you know what? A new one arises to take its place and capture our attention again and again. We have a storyteller within our mind that thinks it is who we are. It judges our experiences as creating good or bad consequences, or maybe creating happiness or sadness, joy or fear, anger, shame, or despair, right? We want to control, but we only want the ones that are good and none of the ones that are bad. You know, how am I ever going to get out of this seemingly endless situation of the ongoing pandemic, right? And, you know, that's a great problem to solve. Or how can I ever transform my relationship to be full of joy rather than rejection or self-denial? Or if it's not our relationship, what about one of my kids that's in one of those issues, right? How can I ever get out of debt? There it comes around. How can I never be enough? All of these problems. Our inner storyteller is always ready there to look towards the past, trying to create a desired experience from the past or validate our identity, or maybe it's looking towards the future. We're trying to create a desired perfection that we want to experience, but that's in our minds, what that perfection might be. Or maybe it just wants to let us find fulfillment, you know, to have meaning in our lives. But it's forward-based, it's hoping rather than focusing on now. So this is where our struggles begin. You know, when we want our life to be different than it is, right? It's when we try to deny what it is, we resist it, or try to manipulate what it is. We may blame others or try to control them, or along with everything else, to fix our problems. And this just deepens our struggles. You know, it's like when you're tied in, and as long as you keep pulling away, it's just going to make the knot tighter and tighter. You have to release it in order for that knot to come undone. We try to control our lives and everyone in it. We focus on fixing our problems, and we discover that each problem is replaced by the next one. This is not our true identity and purpose. Instead, this is how we avoid and resist what is. We resist being aware of what life actually is and how it's unfolding and how it is not. So there's an inherent conflict with this approach that we can only really live our lives in the now. Ernest Holmes, in his Lessons for Spiritual Mind Healing, he said, all ideas are formed in the present. since there is no past nor future to reality, right? So we have an image of what the past was. We remember it, but it's not a perfect memory. And we have an image, a forecast of what's going to come in the future, but it's only a forecast. The only reality we have is right now. Now, there's infinite ways that life can unfold from this moment. You know, we no matter how brilliant or practiced our mind is, no matter how skillfully that inner storyteller weaves together all our past experiences and looks through all the options and picks the best one to interpret our best situation, our storyteller cannot know everything there is to know about the infinite possibilities or control the outcome. And what the storyteller really is not good at is coming up with new solutions that don't repeat history over and over again. Right? So we avoid living in the now in many ways to control the situation. We have addictions that are one way that we kind of also avoid living in the present. We can numb ourselves with alcohol or drugs. We can seek pleasure or thrills, but these only last for a short time. So we have to do it again and again. It's an addiction. We're addicted to relationships, perhaps, and all of the drama that can come along with searching for someone else that can make us happy, rather than looking within to find our own inner peace and happiness that we can then share. Angelica talked about how we have to love ourselves first before we can really love someone else and receive love. If we're not worthy, we won't receive love, even when it's given to us. Another way of avoiding it is we get really busy. So busy that we get lost in the details of avoiding what we think we don't want and acquiring what we want to have and doing what we want to do. And this sharp focus blinds us to what is. We try to control every aspect of our lives, including everyone else in our lives. Mary O'Malley, who wrote the book, this great book called What's in the Way is the Way, and I'll be using quite a bit from her today, as well as Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. But anyway, Mary O'Malley says that we can see the impossibility of control as a successful strategy if we just try to imagine someone looking up at those beautiful clouds in the sky and trying to control the clouds as they move by. Right? I mean, we know controlling everything in our lives is about equally preposterous. Right? It's just not going to happen. And so our emotions are another way, a very challenging way that keeps us locked into what our storyteller tells us. And so we can be afraid that if we try to feel what we feel, we're going to get caught up in the emotion, right? If we react with anger, we blind our thinking and our connection with spirit. So we don't want to do that, and we'll try and numb ourselves, hold those emotions down. We don't want to get lost in our feelings, because then we're going to be acting out blindly. We won't have control. We can also go in the opposite direction and get frozen in our grief or our sadness because we're not willing to be with it. We just freeze. Instead of fighting, we're freezing. And so all of this, when we do shut down the emotions as a retreat, we shut off who we are and we shut off the flow of life. Right? Now, it doesn't work, because if you don't look at them, they don't go away. They're just there waiting to be addressed. When I was in my teens and 20s, all of these experiences that I had, I didn't have the ability to look at them. And so I had this image in my mind of taking these memories that were too difficult to deal with, and I would wrap them up in a box with a pretty blue velvet bow and put them in my closet in my mind. And as I went through practitioner training and a lot of the spiritual work that I've done, one by one, I pulled those boxes out of the closet, opened them up, and dealt with all of that. And my journals became much more pleasant to reread after all of that. instead of being so dark. So they just wait for us. You can just have an ongoing sense of unease that you can suddenly come roaring out of that closet at any time too, when you haven't dealt with something. You think you've got it all tamped down, but it's still there, just waiting for the right moment, another trigger. In as a society in the 1970s and the 80s, there was a feeling that you had to really counter these feelings and emotions and just express them out. There was primal scream therapy. I don't know if any of you know that. And when you do that, you have to scream out your anger and beat, take a bat and beat on a pillow or something like that, right? And it was supposed to help get it all out. Well, I tried that one time and with a therapist, and I just ended the session early, because for me all it was is like, no, it's for me, I was already facing my anger and fear that I was in. My first husband was dying, and so that wasn't helpful for me to do that. It was like going backwards rather than forward, and I wasn't really present with it. And there was also something called encounter groups in the 70s. They were very popular, and so people would get together and they would talk about all of their deep, dark secrets and their anger and their emotions, and it was a way of getting it out and expressing it. And there was a good part of that, but there was also a part of it where if you didn't have anything that was stressing you out, well, you had to come up with something. So people started inventing problems just to have something to be part of the group. And so a lot of people became worse rather than dealing with it, because you were dealing with it again in an emotional, reactive way, rather than facing it and letting spirit come infuse it with that divine wisdom of being in the present. When we have another thing that happens is things happen to us when we're in a child, and when we're a child, when we're 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, by the time you're 6, you've really formed who you are and how you're going to be responding to the world. But things that happened back then, we have the intellect of a child and the experience of a child trying to deal with it. We don't understand that we're not the center of the universe, and we didn't cause all of their parents' problems. There are all these things that happen, and so that we get imprinted with that. And so inner child work is very important as we're an adult. And again, bring it into the present moment, to the present wisdom, and hopefully to allow that divine wisdom to be infused with the truth. So thinking back to this morning's reading, how do we distinguish between our life, which is the eternal now, and our life situation, which is ephemeral and always changing and evolving? Right? This is the work, and this is part of the shift that we do when we are present in the now. So one of the tools that we have to bring ourselves into the now and to make it a safe and fertile place to deal with these issues is to be curious. And when we are living in everyday wonder, we are living in amazement of what things are. We're being curious about, rather than trying to analyze things and go back to all of the 50 times before that we've been through this problem, and we've got this tried and true solutions, but I have the same tried and true, not quite good answer. But instead, when we're curious about it and ask ourselves, what is going on here? And look at it underneath, look at it from different perspectives, look at it from the perspectives of other people, and really take the time to look at what's going on, right? And you'll find things that you would have never seen otherwise. It's like taking off your sunglasses, and when you're inside and being able to look. Or for me, I know, since I'm not wearing my contacts, because my can't get them in yet, but I need these glasses to see anything, and so it's very important to have them. But our wonder then, it also helps us make that journey from the head to the heart. And in our heart, we connect with the whole of life, with our oneness with spirit and our interconnectedness with all of life, right? And so when we choose to be curious about embracing the now, we awaken our consciousness to what is, rather than the limited perspective that our storyteller chooses to see and really can only see. Curiosity is the art of bringing your attention and your immediate experience together. This quote is from Mary O'Malley in her What's in the Way is the Way book. You see, curiosity is a state of being fully present, of sensing our connection with the infinite possibilities and the natural state of joy. That is our natural state. Amazing. Right? We are transformed by coming into alignment with life, with spirit. You know, it's like you go out and look at a landscape, and Michael's been showing us some wonderful sunrises and this morning, and views from the mountaintops. But when we go out on that landscape, maybe one that we've seen thousands of times before, and we're seeing it with brand new eyes. Right? There's previously unseen gifts and possibilities that just delight our newfound awareness. Right? When we're, it's like when we're meditating. I mean, just look in front of you, and whether it's you're looking in your room or you're looking out the window, and just look at the landscape as if you've never seen it before. And I'm sure you'll notice something that's new, maybe just for today, or the color's a little different, the light's a little different, or maybe there's some real important detail that's been you've missed or shown up. By embracing the now with curiosity, we learn to see the world anew. Another thing about this curiosity, then, it creates spaciousness, right? And it opens us to greater possibilities. As Ernest Holmes said, the universe is always conspiring for our good. Now, curiosity allows us to see and experience that good. Right? And so with curiosity, you can look at those scary emotions and separate your feelings that are tied to what happened in the past and who you were then, and then perhaps as a young child, and then who you are now, and other different responses. You know, rather there's the response that you had, but there's a whole myriad of other responses that you could have had. Maybe there's new information that you didn't know. Maybe there's something about what was going on in the other person's life that you didn't know. Maybe there's something about your own self that you didn't know. You know, my first husband had a brain tumor for 5 years before we knew it, and some of his strange behavior turned out to be a brain tumor. And so there's forgiveness that comes in, and forgiveness of ourselves for being human. Right? Now, sometimes it's just a little shift that's powerful, that creates a crack for transformation. Now, Mary O'Malley, in her book, she shares a story about a woman that was in one of her seminars, and it illustrates how being present to what we're experiencing without trying to change it creates a spaciousness for us to be curious, and what she calls notice, Knowtice. It's a mixture of know and notice. Right? It's like that intuitive way of knowing. So it's a woman she calls Clara. She shared her insights. So Clara was cooking dinner, and she was looking around her messy house, and the thought came to her mind, I am tired and overwhelmed. And so once she brought that into the story, she noticed her energy sink. Okay, so she's paying attention. And then her perception shifted when she was noticing what was happening. And she realized that those tired and overwhelmed parts of her, yes, they were there, but those parts were not all of her. There was a whole lot more of her rather than just the tired and overwhelmed parts. And so this is a little shift. And when she made that little shift, the same energy sink didn't happen. She was able to maintain a much higher level of presence of energy. And so then she said, the tired and overwhelmed parts of me are visiting, but they don't have all of me. Right? And so what a shift it made. It acknowledged that it's all, yes, it was there, but it was temporary. This too shall pass, and it opened to her to even more spaciousness. And so she had some other insights. The stories in our minds are just like the weather. It comes and it goes. Some days it's sunny, some days it's rainy, some days it's snowy. I can't control the weather and it's not permanent, but it's always shifting and it's impossible to control. The only choice is to experience it as it is and to see it and respond. So this shift to curiosity, rather than just hunkering down and dealing with it, it brings us into that present moment and to see these new possibilities that are opening up for us. It creates spaciousness and connection, room for new solutions. It also causes us to shift from our storyteller to what many faiths, Hindu and Buddhism in particular, call our observer, our witness. Right? We do this by shifting from judgment on the past or the future with that storyteller to the present. And we shift into a state of wonder. We are observing what is happening as opposed to being part of it. And that observer can be curious about the present because it's detached. Rather than thinking about it or trying to change things and being stuck on the way things have always been, it's open to new possibilities, to that divine input, right? Rather than assuming that the past patterns will unfold again and again. So I'd like to try a little experiment with you. And so you can see what this is. So first I'd like you to close your eyes and silently say to yourself the word peace several times. And watch carefully. Observe that there is a part of you saying the word peace, and there is a part of you that is aware of what is being said. That awareness is who you really are. This is your observer, your witness. You are not the person saying the word. You are the observer, observing that person, observing this situation, observing what's going on. Your observer sees what's happening in any given moment, but is detached from your thoughts and your feelings. You can come back to the room now. And your sensation and experiences, it just observes without judgment. You know, your observer is not resisting or trying to change what happened. It is just observing. And as an observer, you are detached from the answers, just observing with curiosity, able to see without judgment and open to more possibilities. Right? And this is what we do when we embrace the now. We change our perception to curiosity and being fully present in the now. It creates space for transformation. Ernest Holmes has a great chapter towards the back of the Science of Mind textbook. It's called The Great Awakening. And he starts with a quote from Romans 13:11. Now is the time to awake out of sleep. And Holmes interprets it, the belief in a life apart from good is a dream from which we must awake if we are to taste the waters of reality, which flow from the source of life. This awakening is a process of evolution, a little here and a little there, until the whole eye is opened and we see that life is neither separate from God nor different from good. Life is God and good is the only power there is or can be. To awaken oneself is to be healed, made prosperous, happy, and satisfied. To be made every whit whole, to be complete as we were intended to be. God is a God of the living and not the dead. Right? This is awakening, as Ernest Holmes put it. Now, there's a word called alchemy, and traditionally it's been about transforming lead into gold, and everybody thought this is kind of crazy people were doing that. But spiritually, it has a whole different meaning. Spiritual alchemy is about transforming unconsciousness into consciousness. It's about transforming that limited awareness into that greater awareness of the infinite. When we awaken, when we open our conscious awareness to the present, remove the blinders that our storyteller has, and we let go of the illusions of holding on to the past or waiting for the future, we live in the present. It gives us courage to look at ourselves, at what really is. We have been conditioned to believe that if we don't look at ourselves and the unacceptable and uncomfortable parts of ourselves in particular, they will go away. But they don't. We have to look at them and transform them. There's a great movie that Michael and I watched this week called Don't Look Up. And it's a very funny parody about life. And there's this giant comet going to impact Earth, and the president is telling everyone, don't look up, don't look up. And then someone at his rally looks up and goes, what? Because they just looked up. So it's amazing what you see when you become focused on what really is. And so by shifting our perspective from that storyteller to the observer, life really is transformed. Eckhart Tolle, in his book, he says, if you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. Primary reality is within, secondary reality is without. So, in Science of Mind, we put this as, it is done unto you as you believe. That was from the Bible, actually. So as we believe, what is manifested in our life. And so if we expect our life to continue to be constrained and difficult, it will be. If we expect our life to open up into this greatness that's yet to be, that is what we will experience right now in the moment. The universe is conspiring for our good, and life happens for us. Life is not a series of random events. It is a highly intelligent unfolding, giving us whatever is most supportive of the evolution of our consciousness, because life is coming from spirit. We are an expression of the one, each one of us. And we all interact as parts of that one. One thing with my hand, I have, in my surgery, I've really learned about how much your left hand and your right hand need each other to do anything like tie a shoe or open a bottle, or so many important things that I wasn't able to do for a week or so. Still, some things I can't. But also, when we think about this greater good that is yet to be, Ernest Holmes says, here and now, we are surrounded by and immersed in an infinite good. How much of this infinite good is ours? All of it. And how much of it may we have to use? As much of it as we can embody. So if we can't see it and believe it, we can't have it. It's like having a big bowl of cherries or M&Ms, and you only can see one, and you take that one out, and the rest are all there waiting for us, but we only see the one that we have in our hand. Right? Eckhart Tolle says it in his book. He says the same thing in another way. To be free of time is to be free of the psychological need of time for your identity and future for your fulfillment. It represents the most profound transformation of consciousness that you can imagine, right? So when we stop living in the past or the future and live in the now, it opens us up to this good and allows that transformation to occur in our lives. Living in the present, doesn't simply mean looking for what makes us happy and ignoring the rest, right? It's, that's that kind of idyllic idea to it. Sounds like a childlike trust, but it's not. This is reality. Because what it means is it's not narcissistic, because it's not searching for pleasure and thrills without regards for the consequences or impacts on others. We're just not living for the moment and for the short term. It's because we are fully grounded in the present and what is. We are also fully grounded in spirit and the allness, the oneness of what is. Right? So when you're fully present, you are connected with spirit. So your awareness is not just your mind. Your awareness is linked into that supercomputer of spirit. You're aware of so much more, right? And it's not about just us. It is about the highest and best for all of the one, for all of God, for all of spirit. And when we come from that consciousness, it's not just acting out of anger about what happened in the past or our fear of what's going to happen in the future. It's not making choices because someone will or will not like us, because they're a part of us, right? The highest and best for us is the highest and best for them, and vice versa. Or if we're a politician, we're not worried about getting a certain person's endorsement. We're not, right? It's not a Machiavellian choice where the future and where ends justify the means. It's all about in the present and all the ripples that are in the present. I mean, we have to come back from that humankind being so self-centered and not aware of this wholeness that we've continued to create suffering for themselves and each other by killing hundreds of thousands of people and animals every year. I mean, how can humankind do that to itself, right? Instead, it is about being fully present to what is and to the highest and best for life as a whole in the moment. It's about being awake to our divine intuition, to divine love, and the highest possibilities. And when we're in this mindset, when we're dealing with climate change, we become curious about the possibilities and the relationships between our actions and the divine guidance. It's not about short-term expedience or neediness, but about embracing the now, expressing wholeness and love for all of life. It's not just getting that perfect solution, but it's about being in the moment and listening in the moment and being willing to be part of what is unfolding with our hearts wide open. Now, to sum all of this up, Mary O'Malley has a great quote about her approach to life and curiosity. She said, when you're willing to let go of life trying to be a particular way, and instead open to what life is giving you without getting lost in stories, you begin to know joy. You may experience happiness for a while by getting what you want, but joy is the ability to be with whatever is happening. So this week, I invite you to stop and honor the present moment several times a day. Practice being curious and living everyday wonder. You may very well experience the joy of being alive. Now, next week, we're going to go into more detail about how you can transform your life and how you can embrace the now and wonder. We'll learn about how our body can be a source of wisdom. And there's an opportunity to support spiritual enlightenment, transform your relationships, and move towards happiness and inner peace that lasts. It's not just ephemeral, right? Now, this is the beginning of our journey for the whole year. And the print on this slide is a little small, but what I want you to see is that each month we're going to be taking a different topic and applying this whole idea of living everyday wonder to different areas of our life. So next month, we're going to be looking at your inner life. We'll be looking at creativity, emotions, nature, relationships, finances, home, community, all of these different areas of our life. And it's amazing how transformational living in the present is. So I hope you continue with us on this journey. But right now, let's take this to prayer. So in this moment, I know that there is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. And that life is my life and the life of each person here listening to my voice. We are part of the one. And as we let go of the past, let go of the future, we find ourselves right here in the middle of the now. And we open our arms and hearts wide to embrace it. And as we do, it is as if we have been looking everywhere for an answer. Everywhere, high and low. And we're in a room of 1,000 doors. And we try each one of those doors, looking to see which one is the way out of this room, of this place where we've been stuck. And every time we go through a door, sometimes they're locked. Sometimes we go through to the other side and it's just a dead end, maybe a brick wall. But finally, we've tried all of them. There's one of them, a little tiny one that has the letters HE on it. It's kind of hard to get to. And HE, well, that must be hell. We'll skip that one. But finally, that's the only one that's left. And so as we come closer to it, we see that what's written on it is HERE, here. Here is the answer. Here in the now. And as we get closer, it gets bigger and bigger, that door. And finally, when we get right up to it, all of the walls in the room have dissolved. And we are no longer stuck in that room. We are free to be a part of the wholeness of life. And we feel that connection. We look at a beautiful tree that's in front of us and we feel a connection with the vibrancy of life that is within it and within us. Somebody's standing near us. And there is this sense of connection, of the magnificence of who they are, which has never been so more clear and vibrant. And as we notice the vibrancy of that wonderful person in front of us, there is that within us that is awakened. And it is because we are opening up that channel of spirit to express itself through us and in our lives. And it is clearing out all of that stuff and all of the past stuff that keeps us stuck. And we are free to be alive in this oneness. There is great space and joy. Life is full of goodness. And we share it everywhere. These blessings that are filling our life, we share it with all of life. And it is good. We share it with our friends here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee, and our center is transformed. It is a place where people find wholeness and experience it. They experience love and they share it, that awareness. Their lives are transformed and it ripples out into the world, finding other centers of spirit, of joy, of life, of goodness. And all of life seems that much more beautiful and wonderful and precious. I'm so grateful to be here today, to be a part of this experience, to be a part of this center, to be a part of life itself. Thank you. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. Thank you for this experience in my life and everyone here. And as I release these words, knowing that it is already done, I have already grown and it continues to evolve into something even more wonderful towards expressing the infinite. And it is good. And so it is. And so I let it be. Amen. Well, that brings us to our prosperity. Oh, no, we have something very important before that. Angelica has one more song to share with us. And I think that you'll find that it's a great summary of all the things that we've been talking about this morning. Angelica.
Yes, so this song, I call it Not Me, Not Mine. And it came to me one day when I was contemplating all the stories and I felt burdened by all the stuff in the mind. And so I wrote this song, or I should say, received this song. But I want to just point out that it isn't that I don't have compassion. I developed compassion for all those parts that are in story and hurting and from the past and had trauma and all that. So it isn't that I'm just kind of making it all wrong. It's inclusive. I am simply seeing what is there, and I also affirm that I am so much more. So that song is in that spirit. So if you want to, you can sing with me. It's some parts repeat and it's very simple to pick up, especially the line, I am pure in spirit, I am whole in truth, I am a child of love. So that's the affirmation. And then I also list what I am not that came out of that moment of frustration. Okay. Troubles come and troubles go, past and future I don't know. Anything that comes and goes, not me, not mine. Every story that once was, everything that did not last. Fears of future, worries past, not me, not mine. Not me, not mine. Now let's sing together. Not me, not mine. Not me, not mine. Not me, not mine. Not me, not mine. I am pure in spirit. I am pure in spirit. I am whole in truth. I am whole in truth. I am pure in spirit. I am a child of love. I am a child of love. All the chatter in the mind and sensations of all kinds, the old habits, rush and strife, not me, not mine. What I learned and what I know, the beliefs that come and go, all those concepts about life, not me, not mine. Not me, not mine. Together, not me, not mine. 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 I am pure in spirit. I am pure in spirit, whole in truth. I am whole in truth. I am pure in spirit. I am a child of love. There is wisdom, love, and peace, deeper resources in me. I have freedom to let go what is not real. There is wisdom, love, and peace, deeper resources in me. I have freedom to let go what is not real. What is not real? Not me, not mine. Not me, not mine. Not me, not mine. Not me, not mine. I am pure in spirit. I am pure in spirit. I am whole in truth. I am pure in spirit. I am a child of love. I am a child of love. I am a child of love.
Thank you, Angelica. Yeah, that compassion is, it's amazing what we need to give ourselves as well as everyone else. So and now we come to our prosperity time. And at the Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee, we know that God is our infinite source for our center and for each one. And did the host mute me again? Do I need to say that again? So we need to, it's our prosperity time. And so we know that God is our infinite source and for ourselves and for our center. Now, your gifts and pledges for conscious giving for 2022 are your opportunity for you to be part of carrying out our vision of embracing all and serving with love while we awaken to the one. The more that you give, the more that we can do to support spiritual transformation in the world. We have some great ideas about what we want to do next year. And so we're grateful, very grateful for all of your donations, big and small, and for your continuing commitment to our center. It makes such a big difference. We've received the 2022 pledges from most of you, and so there's still time this week to turn in your pledges for conscious giving this year, and we're working on the budget, so it's a good time. And if you, when you do turn in your pledge, we have a beautiful CSL theme journal that'll follow each of the weeks that we have this year, and you can pick it up at the center office or call us and we can mail it to you probably, or have somebody take it to you when they're in your neighborhood. So if you would please hold your offering and pledges over your heart and repeat with me our prosperity affirmation. I gratefully and joyfully share my offering, which flows from God, my infinite source. My gift blesses this center and all who are guided, healed, and empowered by its activities. All I share with life returns to me blessed and multiplied, and so it is. We have our offertory song. When you need to share your sound. Technical difficulties today. We're having some technical difficulties with the song, so I think, and we're running late, so let's just skip forward and know that I am so blessed and grateful for all that I have. I'd like to welcome our friends that are visiting with us today. I think Carter Redding, I understand he's a friend of Angelica, came to hear her wonderful concert. And Emily, we haven't, I think it's Emily Tesmer, we haven't seen for a while, so welcome. Good to see you here as well. You can also, if you're interested in hearing more about our center, you can go on our website and sign up for our newsletter, and or put your name and address in the chat, and we'd be glad to add you as well. I have several thank yous. I want to thank Reverend Barb Wally, who spoke for me last week while I was recovering from my surgery. I also want to thank, there was a great team that was, Reverend Barb told me how said that she hadn't felt this welcome and comfortable in a center, like she was at home in over a decade in the CSL center. So, so Karen Heine, the Zoom host, Brenda, the MC, Nancy, Practitioner, and Colleen as the musician last week, they all worked together to create a great service. So thank you, every one of you. We are also recruiting a new part-time office administrator, still looking for that great person. And we're also looking now for a media specialist who is someone that could help us edit and upload our Sunday video and help us create a bunch of modern day things without too much extra work of having a blog and some webinars and some ideas. Colleen and I were brainstorming this week, so we want to really get ourselves out there in the social media and share all of what these great things we have with the world, right? So, and if you want to be the angel to fund that extra person, that would be wonderful too. right after the service today, please everyone stay on. We're going to have our hospitality time. And you can find these announcements that are coming up on the slides on our website, on the Facebook, and it'll have all the Zoom links to our different events that are occurring through the week and every Sunday in our newsletter. You can check out our website, tahoecsl.org, and it's got some always new things that are occurring there. Next Sunday, our Sunday service is going, January 23rd, is going to be on Zoom only again. We're still staying safe with COVID. And I will be talking about Question Everything. The music will be by Tuck Wilson, who is recovered from his health challenge 4 or 5 months ago, and he's feeling great. So he's very happy to join us. And the practitioner will be Brenda Hildorn. This week is the conference in at the Hyatt Regency. Unfortunately, like us, many of the attendees have decided to go virtual and just attend in person, which is what Penny and Michael and I will be doing. So there's still time to sign up, and there's going to be some great musicians. You'll learn a lot about CSL, and the speakers are just amazing. Friday night, they're going to have a special, about 8 people are going to read from a sermon that Ernest Holmes gave in Whittier in the last year or so of his life, when he had this cosmic consciousness experience. And I mean, it was so profound. He was just, he just had to phrase. And someone had to help him sit down, because it was just amazing in transformation. So you'll hear what was going on there if you tune in to that virtual conference. This week also, because of the conference, will be closed on Wednesday. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, so the banks and everybody are closed. So Tuesday's the best day to catch everybody in the office if you want to be there. We have all of our ongoing classes that are going on. So there's the Tai Chi on Thursday afternoons with Chris Worcester, meditation with Mary McEnany and Penny on Thursday afternoons. Friday nights is the Course of Love ongoing class, drop in with Sue Pipel. So please, all of the links are on our website if you were interested in any of those great times. And I also want to thank all of our practitioners that are here with us today. They are the heart of our center. They hold the high consciousness. And so our practitioner of the day was Michael Brandman. Harold Alban is on. And let's see. And Nancy was with us, but she had to leave. And I'm also a practitioner. So if you need prayer, please let us know in the chat, or call one of us if you have our number. Call during the weekend. We would love to pray for you. Or even have a longer session. That's what we're here for. And we also have our children's affirmation. And before we come into our final closing song and affirmation. All right. If you would read along with me. We see you. We hear you. We love you. You are a gift from God. We bless you. And we have the next slide. Here we go. All right, if you would repeat with me our affirmation. I am present with what is. I open to possibilities. I want to thank Colleen for coming up with all these wonderful photographs that she's been adding to our newsletter, which are I can reuse for our Sunday services. And we have our song, closing song, the peace song.